needing to know, what chronotherapy was and what herbology was. And of course, being an orthotherapist, you are a massage therapist first, and then you specialize in kinesiotherapy. You learn the kinesiology of the body, which is the movement. And then, everything that has to do with movement and mobility, of course, was my big passion. Inflammation, inflammatory problems, people who had arthritis and rheumatism. That brought me to really learning about naturopathic remedies and nutritional re-education and energy, and going into all that, learning that, we're a spiritual being in a physical body. So treating the physical is very important, but all the other components are also very important to me. So this is all holistic. So a holistic practitioner is not only looking at the specific symptoms, but also looking at the cause. And the cause can be from within, it can be from your environment, it can be from what you eat or what you're not doing. And so I think that when we have that holistic approach mindset, you become more aware of maybe the problem that I have is all about me and not all about what's out there. And so, this is the awareness that we're trying to give the people by giving these sessions of product knowledge, but also health knowledge to every individual that listens to these calls every night.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think that's really important.
Yeah.
So these are a few of the benefits that Black Oxygen provides: metabolism for weight loss, increased oxygen for optimal health, boosts immune system, facial masks for the skin, for your skin, and balneotherapy treatment through bathing. So the last two are topical methods that you can use to get the Black Oxygen into your system, and the first three are some benefits there. Is there anything that you'd like to add on to this, Mark?
Well, the fact that you have a very wide scope of issues that we can actually treat with this product. So let's think about a universality where it's just as good externally as it is internally. And then we're going to look at skin problems and what we can do to treat that. Something that comes to mind for a lot of you is like, I have psoriasis or I have eczema. In the aesthetic world, well, I have cuprose, I have rosacea, I have aging, I have wrinkles. Those things can all be treated externally, and of course, all the internal that we've been talking about, in the last 3-4 calls, they were talking about internal, and today we're going to talk about metabolism and of course weight loss, which is something that we all like to know.
Absolutely. Okay, would you mind telling us about what's happening in the world's health today, specifically revolving around metabolism?
Well, the health system is sick, and we call it the health system, but actually the disease system. Because the allopathic, the drug ammunition, the symptomatic ways of what doctors are doing is that it keeps you sick, and that's what pays them. So they're actually endeavoring people to be sick. That's why when I started as a holistic practitioner, I said, wow, this is a big problem in our health industry. We got to start talking about health. And so health is from within, and you can't look from outside to treat yourself. And the important thing is to look at as the cause. So if we have an environment, which is polluted, we can't change that. We can, our footprint is important, and taking care of the ecological aspects of our lives and all that is important to maintain a good environment. We touch chemicals, 45 chemicals every day that we touch. And so we absorb and we bring into our bodies. 2010, just a research that comes to mind, the umbilical cord was researched. And we found over 200 chemicals in the umbilical cord. So imagine you're not even born and you have toxicity in your body. So we know we live in a toxic world. We know we have environments that are toxic. And then so it's important to treat ourselves and reinforce our immune system and reinforce our health so that we have the battles and the soldiers to go out there and battle this world in which we live.
Well, that's an interesting fact. I didn't know how toxic we were even in the womb. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's and that was in 2010, so that's almost like 12 years ago.
Yeah. So, Mark, what is the role of our metabolism?
Metabolism is the chemical reaction from the body cells that change the food into energy. That's the layman's, that's not complicated. So it's really a chemical process that is continually going on inside your body, and it transforms the food into energy. And from there, that's the energy in the cell. And of course, you have your enzymatic functions and your hormonal production and everything that goes on. We call those the systemic functions in your body. So it's like breathing. You don't actually, I got to breathe. No, you do it automatically, right? So it's like the heartbeat. It's pumping blood. It's producing hormones. It's digestion. That is all related to the metabolism, because metabolism brings the food and brings the energy to these cells to make those functions in the body. So these chemical processes require energy, and then that's why when we talk about weight loss, well, we live a sedentary world. We are couch potatoes. We don't exercise, so we gain weight. So if you want to increase the metabolism, you got to go into your energy sources, right? So you can give it fulvic to increase the energy sources. But there are a lot of nice tricks that we can talk about today about weight loss also. But that's one of them, is to activate fulvic to increase that process of metabolism.
So that's what you just answered right now. So you increase the energy. Yeah. You increase the energy resources with the fulvic, and is that specifically due to the amount of nutrients that are in fulvic?
Well, the chemical process requires energy. So when we drink fulvic, we increase energy. So we increase the metabolism. So if you're not doing anything and your body needs energy, well, what does it do? It goes into the stored fat cells to get the energy. And that's where you start getting loss of weight when you're taking fulvic. Now, we have a call on balneotherapy, but we can talk about it when we're on here. If I raise metabolism, how do I raise it? Well, one of the ways is to take a mud bath. And you put the water very, very hot. And so if you're sitting still in the tub and you're raising the water temperature, your body needs energy to combat that heat, right?
Right.
It do. It goes into the stored fat cells for energy, and that's
right.
And so you're actually burning fat cells and you're losing weight. Now, most of the waste in when we talked about the detox module is in fat cells. So it's like a double whammy. It's double bonus. You're actually losing weight, and you're chelating the heavy metal out of your fat cells when you raise that metabolism.
So your body uses the energy from fat cells to basically bring your body temperature lower.
It needs energy to combat what's going on, and what's going on is I've increased the heat. And you say, "Oh my God, it's hot, it's hot." So the body needs to sweat. It needs to protect itself, and it's doing it through sweat.
Right.
But you're not exercising.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
Well, of course it does.
Is it beneficial to add black oxygen to the weight loss regimens below?
Absolutely. I mean, even if you're not detoxing, detoxing, you lose weight. So when you're losing weight, fasting is important. Drinking a lot of water, of course. Hydration, cell hydration. A lot of people go on the scale in the morning and they have 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. That's because of water retention. And so if you drink water, people think if you drink too much water, you'll retain water. It's the opposite. If you drink a lot of water, you don't retain water.
Right, because your body's constantly, it's used to it coming in, so it gets rid of it.
Yeah, and of course, using dietary supplements, if you're constantly constipated, then you're going to use, peristaltic movement like Cascara Sagrada, or you're going to use cayenne pepper, capsaicin. You're going to use those types of plants to increase the peristaltic movement, to flush out the waste and lose weight. and raise metabolism. Because
I was just going to say that. That's right.
Spicy food, you raise metabolism again because it's heat. Heat is the number one soldier in weight loss. So you know.
Metabolism, yeah. Could you please clarify why increased nutrient absorption is beneficial to metabolic function?
Well, okay, so you're when you're increasing the metabolism, you're increasing that chemical process. So you're transferring the food into energy. So you're enabling absorption of nutrients from the food. And in the foods, you find all the trace minerals, just like the fulvic, right? So you're breaking down the food to enable absorption. So that's what happens when you take fulvic. By increasing the metabolic function, you're increasing the continuous degradation of that chemical process. So you're actually absorbing more.
Right. And then if you're doing a detox, I guess it would be really important to have some sort of supplementation like black oxygen to ensure that your body is getting those nutrients, right? Yep. Rather than flushing everything away, you need to replenish as well.
Yep.
And what are some examples of diseases or disorders in which nutrient absorption is a problem?
Death.
Pardon?
Death.
Well, then it's not a problem because it's no longer a problem. You're going.
It could get to a death, but you know what happens when you have a lack of nutrients absorbance? You have lack, so you have deficiencies. We talked about mineral deficiencies are the creation of chronic diseases. So osteoporosis is one of them, for example. Lack of calcium and destruction. Anemia, lack of iron, all of these, sleep disorders, depression, all these are a chemical imbalance. And so you would say that if you have a lack of mineral deficiency, you create a body in a disease state, an unease state. And so any disease, depending on your environment or your DNA or your ancestors, you might develop. Honestly.
Okay, so it's really a wide range here.
Yeah.
I have some frequently asked questions that we often get. Is there a connection between well-regulated hormones and your mood?
Absolutely. Mood swings are caused by hormones. A perfect example is when we have an hormonal imbalance during menstrual cycle. What do you say? Oh my God, you're moody. You must be menstruating, right? So it affects your mood. So that's a perfect example. It's a classic, PMS syndrome. It's very difficult. The same thing when your digestive enzymes are not working, or you have an insulin imbalance. What happens? Your mood changes. You need the food. You need to
get hangry.
Anything in your way is out of your way because you're hungry. So absolutely, if you regulate hormones, you get better moods. Definitely.
Okay. Is it possible that taking black oxygen before bed can cause sleep issues?
It does on certain amount of people. So we have 4 types of people. A floric people is somebody that has high energy. If they take it at night, they might stay awake. So a carbonic is, a person that works on slow metabolism, functions high carbohydrates. They will have no problems taking the fulvic at night. I would tell people, do your research, try it, see what happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you got to see what works for you. If someone wants to take the product 3 times a day orally, and they don't want to take it into the evening, is there maybe a certain distance between dosages that they should consider?
Yeah. So you take it 6 o'clock in the morning, and you can take it at noon, and then you can take it at 3.
Okay. So could you take 2 at a time? Would you recommend that?
No.
Tablets at a time?
No, I wouldn't. You're taking it for nothing. It flushes what you don't need, right?
Right. Well, black oxygen, should black oxygen be taken at a certain time for people who are on medication?
Well, it should be taken, if you're drinking your Volvic, you might as well take the medication at the same time.
Right. So empty stomach in the morning.
There's no contraindications to take it with or without. It's up to you. I believe that, if you're taking your medication in the morning and you're preparing your Volvic, you might as well drink it with your Volvic. That's what the recommendation would be.
Yeah. And then what do you think the best way to store an open bag of black oxygen would be?
In the cupboard?
The powder. Could you leave it open like on the counter, or you suggest?
I would put it in the pharmacy, like in your pharmacy or your pharmacy closet, in the dark, and make it sure it's sealed. You don't want humidity to go into it.
Okay, so sealed.
Yeah.
And then is the product safe for people with autoimmune conditions?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's safe for everyone?
We're going to talk about immune systems on another call, but absolutely, yeah.
Good. Okay, that is everything that we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. We really appreciate you jumping on these calls and learning about black oxygen with us. I know I'm learning too, so I really enjoy these calls as well. Please look into in your back offices for all of the webinars that we host. We do host one almost every single day, so go into your resources section under your calendars and you can take a look at when we're hosting our next call. Mark, is there anything that you'd like to add for our viewers today?
Well, I would like for them to try the mud bath if they haven't tried it, for that, the kick in the metabolism. See, and they're if they do it, there'll be a great testimonial for people around them for weight loss.
Perfect. Okay, everyone, thank you so much for joining us again, and we hope you have a lovely rest of your week. Have a happy and productive rest of your day, and we'll see you next Monday.
Good night,
everyone.